8, 2014 is one of the critical days that should not be easily forgotten on the calendar of Ghana's oil and gas industry. This was the first time Ghana's 4-year-old petroleum industry at the time recorded its maiden major accident, a helicopter crash, killing 4 out of 8 petroleum workers who boarded an Ivorian helicopter from the Takoradi Air Force Base to work at LukOil's field. The 4 persons who died included 2 Ghanaians, a Nigerian and a French national. 2 out of the 4 Ghanaians who actually survived in this maiden disaster that actually hit Ghana's petroleum industry are here with me to actually tell me what has transpired over the close to 6 years since this disaster in the petroleum industry that has actually caused several changes when it comes to the oil and gas industry. I have Godfred and Ebenezer to actually tell me how it all happened and what has actually happened to them as they survived this incident. Godfred, first of all, tell me, what sort of expertise did you have prior to this trip?
We are welders, and we normally do installation on a rig as drilling is going on.
So on that day, I mean, what do you remember?
It was 8th of May, 2014, when we decided to go and do installation work for MI Swako, a strong budget company. And it was the main contractor was the LukOil company. As we decided to make a move, we went to the airport. It was around 10 to 11 o'clock. Then we have helicopter briefing. They told the house to, when it's in case of any emergency, how you are going to control yourself about it. So we take off when it was around 11:30 to 12. As we are on our way moving, we heard a noise from the aircraft. And immediately as we heard the noise, there was a smoke coming from the back. And by the time you turn yourself from the front to watch what is happening at the back, what we normally, we just hit the sea. So we were there around 12 o'clock, and we tried to struggle to survive ourselves. We were 8 on board, but unfortunately, 4 people made it, and the other 4 died. One of them got stuck in the aircraft. He couldn't move. As for him, we could not locate him.
Thank you. But let me find out from your colleague. The 4 of you that survived, what led to your surviving?
That one, you all fall into the sea. Then you struggle on the sea for about 3 hours before the rescue boat came.
They took us to Naval Base, and later on, they took us to Walla. It's also around Champs, where we were there to check if we have any fractures or something like that. And the doctor said, oh, we are okay. Then we returned back to the guest house of Stromberg. They keep us there for almost a week. And they discharged us. Ever since they discharged us, none of the company has even asked for us if how we are doing or how we are moving or something like that. Ever since then, we have not heard from anybody. The company that we went there with them, nobody is caring for us. And we want the government to come out, and we wanted to know if the aircraft that they are working with doesn't have any insurance. If our turn, nothing has happened to us, maybe during the future it will happen to other people, then we know if they have the committee members has also corrected the insurance and they don't want to pay to us.
Citi News reached out to one Tony Nimo, who contracted Ebenezer and Godfred for the MY Swako offshore work, but he declined any comment on the matter. A local relations officer for the Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union in an earlier interview told Citi News the local content implementer can't do a lot to address the concerns of unfair treatment meted out to Ghanaian workers in the oil and gas industry.
We are happy that at least Ghanaian employees are getting employment in the oil and gas sector, both downstream, midstream, as well as the upstream. But we can say that all is not rosy. There has been some challenges particularly when it comes to risk issues, where people are losing their lives, where people are losing their eyesight, where people are losing their hands here and there. Let me give you one critical example. You have a chopper that fell into the sea and Ghanaians lost their life. What has happened to those families of the employees who lost their lives? Are there been any compensation paid to them? As a union officer sitting here, I'm not aware of anything. So what is the Petroleum Commission doing about it? We have just created the employment, but looking at how decent that employment is another concern to us, that we think that the local content authority should pay a critical attention to this.
For these survivors, their call for justice is to set a precedent for others who may suffer similar accidents in the future. Would you say this incident has in any way affected your being and your productivity as a person?
Yes.
In what way?
Now I cannot even go to the offshore and do work again because I'm scary. Because I don't know what will happen again. And first one has happened. There's no help. If another one happen and I die, I have 2 children. Who will take care of them? So that one is also a blow to me.
What do you also feel? I mean, since the incident, do you also have this? Psychological. Effect on you?
Yes. Anytime I saw a helicopter crossing, I ran away. Even my area people, they see me when there is a aircraft crossing. They call me. It means that your plane is crossing. They laugh at me because of what happened. So I don't know how to say. I'm afraid to go to shore offshore again.
So you are losing business because of this fear.
Since for the past 6 years, everything has gone wrong because I don't have a job. Even what to eat is a problem for me. So I'm praying to government to come in so that I will be small okay.
We want the government to help us. And we wanted to find out, after all the investigation, we are those survivors who went there to talk to them. And when they are submitting the report to the government, we didn't hear anything like that. What we just hear on the TV that they submitted a report to the Minister of Aviation. Since then, and that time we went to the minister's house, and he did not even have a chat with us. It's only his PRO who came out to talk with us, and he called the aviation minister and said, head will roll. Since this case is a case, it's international case, if he did not take proper care. Since then, there is nobody that will help. So we want government to help us to go inside, because if we rest our case, it will go to another one's turn, and it will happen to him the same way as it has happened to us.
So, those are the sentiments of the 2 of the 4 surviving Ghanaians who actually found themselves in this disaster that, actually caused a change, even with the health and safety adherence within the oil and gas industry. They see themselves as having been the scapegoats for the change, the positive change, but they haven't been compensated for what they actually suffered on the day and the psychological impact on this disaster on their lives. They want the government to actually look into this reports that was actually prepared after the investigation and find the appropriate compensation for their survivor. For Citi News, I'm Akwese Jedim, 2nd D.